I was telling a friend in the fish fam community that aquascaping can get expensive if you do things like add CO2, purchase high-grade fertilized substrates, get expensive lighting. But one of the things I try to stress on my channel is that the aquarist hobby can be relatively inexpensive if you avoid the high-end products and all the unnecessary things that pet stores and companies try to sell you. I collected these two large rocks that hide the hang on the back filter perfectly from a creek only a few blocks from my house. Now I did test them with agricultural vinegar, that's 45% vinegar. Just added a few drops of vinegar on each rock and waited to see if there was any reaction, any bubbling, fizzing, that sort of thing. And there was no reaction whatsoever, so I consider them aquarium safe. And I do use compost and coal dust for substrate, so that's very cheap. I have been purchasing plants every few weeks from my local pet store. Previously I've gotten them online, and they can be cheaper that way, but there's been a few times when, for instance, I would order plants during winter and the seller didn't include a heat pack, so the cold destroyed the plants or weakened them quite a bit. I was able to get a few to pull through in spite of that, but it's really not worth the hassle. Sometimes you can get a refund, but other times not. But here I've scaped my bedroom tank with some nice plants. On the left I have Pogostemon stellata, a couple of plants I've had for a while in other tanks. And then immediately after that on the left is the dwarf Hygrophila corymbosa. Then in the foreground I have dwarf pennywort, Hydrocotyle sibthorpioides. Then on the right, on the bottom, I have an old favorite, water sprite, Ceratopteris, thalictroides. Finally, my newest acquisition is Brazilian pennywort. That's the large plant on the right. Hydrocotyle leucocephala. I think that the Brazilian pennywort should grow quickly and be quite hardy. I've had pretty good success with the dwarf pennywort, another hydrocotyle species. You might be asking, where are the fauna? Don't I intend to add fish or shrimp to the aquascape? Well, not at the moment. For now, I've decided to just keep this a plant-only tank because I do tend to turn on the lights in the bedroom at odd hours and I hate to disturb the fauna. I might eventually add some shrimp and resume being more careful about the ambient light. But for now, I just like to keep this aquascape in here as a nice decoration for my bedroom. You can see that I've planted the Brazilian pennywort behind the hardscape. and out towards the front of it as well, so it fills in the right side of the tank very nicely. As the water sprite grows, I'm hoping it'll fill in even better. Finally, on the left side of the tank, the Pogostemon stellata looks quite nice, growing about the hardscape. Dwarf Hygrophila corymbosa. I've planted a few of the plants behind the rocks. I think they're going to get enough light there. If there seems to be an issue, I can move them to the front. You can also see that I have a few smaller rocks propping up the large hardscape.